Let's go on to the defensive side of the ball. We just signed Erik Walden from the Colts. Linebacker, and I know headbutting is part of his skill set, just ask Delaney Walker. But what kind of impact do you think he can play on the defense? I know linebacker was a position that a lot of fans thought going into the draft in the offseason we needed to establish more depth at, maybe through the draft, which we didn't really outside of like Jayon Brown. I'm not really including Josh Carraway. But
Josh Carraway's actually made some plays early. But yeah, if you look at Josh Carraway's 7th rounder, I believe, last year's 7th rounder, Aaron Wallace, one of those guys is going to turn into a premier pass rusher for you off the edge. It's unlikely. Dodd is the question mark. Kevin Dodd's the 33rd pick in the draft last year, and he hurt his foot. Stress fracture of his foot, not his toe. But the toe is on the foot, but the stress fracture was in the foot, not in the toe.
That's some anatomy for you.
Yeah. So I think you have to give Kevin Dodd a chance now, and ideally he's your 3rd outside linebacker, and Walden's your 4th. It's not inconceivable that Erik Walden's not on the team. I think he will be, but and I'm not sure what he got guaranteed. I don't think it was so big that it would prevent them.
It's a 1-year deal. I think worth like $3.25 million. You'll have to check me on that. But why do you think the Colts let him walk then? Because he put up 11 sacks last year. Was that just a fluke? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's the only one on the Colts not named like Robert Mathis or Dwight Freeney who's put up double-digit sacks in like the last 15 years.
Yeah, well, it's a new regime, so clearly Chris Ballard not as into Erik Walden as Ryan Grigson was. And listen, he had a productive year. You can't bemoan 11 sacks at any point. But I believe Jonathan Hutton from my show would point out, like, Walden's
would he say it's your show?
Went down our show.
Okay.
Walden's like grade went down 3 years in a row, and his sacks actually went up. So he was opportunistic, but not consistently applying pressure. Listen, the fact that both Decker and Walden, Decker through the grace of the Jets, scrapping everything, and Walden in that the rest of the league wasn't interested in him, that guys at wide receiver and outside linebacker who fit their scheme and bring the qualities that they want were available this offseason late for them to sign. Things really fell in line, and it's more of this kind of John Robinson magic where everything seems to fall in line for him so far.
Right.
I mean, are you high on Erik Walden? You think?
I think it's
because I feel like we needed more coverage linebackers, like some inside. I know he's not that. So why? Yeah, I guess it's a good lucky pickup.
Problem. But he is going to solve the if Arakpo or Morgan get hurt, or if you're playing a billion defensive snaps 1 week, that you can roll somebody fresh out there that's not going to be a monstrous drop off. Yeah. And that's what they need from him. The coverage issue is a different issue. You need Avery Williamson to fare better there. You need Jayon Brown to emerge, or a defensive back to kind of come forward like Damian Stafford did occasionally, play that nickel linebacker, which could be, Denoris Cersei. At Cyprian, LeBeau said during minicamp he wasn't thinking of that way. I think Cyprian's very locked in as just the strong safety, which is fine.
Right. He's more of a run stopper anyways, right?
He forward moving. I wouldn't want him to turn and run as often as others.
Yeah. Well, okay.
How are we doing on our notes? You still on the first page over there?
I mean, we got notes for days. We could talk about the Titans literally for about 24 hours straight.
When I first talked to these guys about coming on the show, they said, "Yeah, let's get together and have a show prep meeting." I said, "No. You get together and have a show prep meeting. I'll be prepped. It's not going to be a problem for me. You do your show prep. I'll show up." That's how it works.
He's already got everything locked in in the cranium.
Even before I came on set, they're like, you need us to tell you anything? No, hit me with anything.
We have other stuff crowding our brain, mainly hair, which you don't have. So we have to prepare some notes. Gosh, whatever.
Well, we're still new at this. We're getting accustomed, but we'll get on your level.
What episode is this?
Like 1,000.
Really?
No, it's like 115 maybe or something like that. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, that's a lot of tape.
That is a lot of tape. Okay, let's go on to another question.
You can go to our history.
You can watch every single video tonight if you want, Paul.
What is? Yeah.
I'm not going to watch every single one of it. I'm not going to tell everyone else to watch every single one of it. I'll tell them to watch this one. This one's pretty so far.
Okay. Anyways.
I mean, you still have time.
We might ruin it later. This might be career suicide.
We're gonna ruin it later.
On there?
Hey, you know what? That was actually I don't want to get into that.
It's like a NASCAR.
Hey, just like you, we don't get paid for this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Okay.
We do this for free, Paul.
Let's get into some X
Sound like
factors.
2 subscribers to PaulKuharsky.com to me.
I don't have the money for that.
Yeah,
if you want to give us some
budget
money,
is
then
tight.
maybe. Let's get into like kind of an X factor for the team. We've talked about Erik Walden, all the signing.
In case you weren't clear on the letter.
Our subscribers are young, okay?
Very young.
They're not. You're reaching a different demographic.
Oh, yeah.
With the ball.
They might not even know you because
the kids don't know.
They can't drive a car. They can't listen to the radio. They might not know.
I'm bigger among adults.
So I'm
you
gonna
can't listen to the radio if you don't have a car.
Well,
we all know that.
I forgot.
I mean, there's no app that could help you listen to the radio.
Yeah. Okay.
They
do have options then.
There's a lot of new players on this team on both sides of the ball, free agency, draft, whatever. I'm going to give you a fill in the blank. Justin, I want to hear your take first. Paul, we've heard enough out of you for now, but then I want to hear what your answer is.
I can step away.
So, if blank has a turnaround or breakthrough year, the Titans will make the playoffs and stay away from. I'm not talking about star players. We know, if Mariota has a great year, we're probably gonna, win the division and stuff. Or DeMarco Murray has a great year. Delaney Walker. I want to know a small guy that you think either had a bad year last year, he's coming off an injury, or
do rookies count?
A rookie, yeah, rookies count. Maybe not the big name rookies. Leave out Corey Davis. We already talked about him. But who do you think is going to be the X?
Name anybody of the 90 players except for these 25 or 30 players.
Well, you said yourself 90 is way too much. Why is Milwaukee even wasting his time on
it's a
half
big
of them?
waste of time. Go ahead.
I'm going to say we talked about him a little bit earlier. You did, Paul. I'm going to say Kevin Dodd. I think if we have him for 16 games, and given that Orakpo and Morgan stay healthy, but he can provide that support pass rush, and I'm going to throw a stat on it too because I'm a stats guy. If he can give us 6+ sacks this year, as well as Morgan and Casey's production, I think the Titans make the playoffs. I think pass rush is the name of the game on defense, and if you have that, you're going to be pretty set.
You don't think Walden will get that place in like that certain
he could
maybe
if they can combine.
You should hope he does.
Sacks.
You should hope that Kevin Dodd gets that. That'd be better for this team if a young guy that they have under contract for a long time outperforms a guy that was available to the entire league from March until nearly August. That would be better.
Right.
For
True,
team health.
but I mean, Kevin Dodd said himself after his second injury, he didn't think he'd be able to come back. I mean, just mentally and physically.
It looks pretty good so far.
Well,
I think he's more mentally tough than he got credit for, and I do think I appreciate Malarkey's candor, and I don't doubt that there were some mental toughness issues going on there. Yeah. But they said that in December, and he had surgery again in January. So there was something physical there too, thus the second surgery. So I just think the guy deserves a chance. I think I wrote the other day, he's been in the league 458 days. A lot of people wanted to write him off after 458 days. If I got written off after 458 days of my career, who knows what I'd be doing. I think it's a little hasty. My answer on your fill in the blank, I'm not going to go a person, I'm going to go a position, the secondary. Secondary's got to be a lot better.
I want a person. Who do you think in the secondary?
I can't say Logan Ryan has to be better because Logan Ryan was very good. He was just in a different team at a different place. So if the two prime new corners, your biggest free agent pickup in Logan Ryan and your second first rounder in Adoree Jackson, if those guys are good, this team can be a lot better and should go to the playoffs because pass defense was clearly the biggest problem that it had last year.
I think everyone can vouch for that. But so what do you think about LaShawn Sims? Because that would actually be my answer, especially early when we had that really hard stretch, first 5 games. Because I don't think, and I may be wrong, there's still some offseason to go. I don't think Adoree Jackson is going to be the starter once the season gets going. So I think it'll kind of fall on guys like LaShawn Sims to kind of, starting opposite of Logan Ryan to kind of carry the load through those first really tough, part of the schedule to get Adoree Jackson more situated into the league to where then he can take over.
Yeah. So I don't want to baby a rookie in. I don't want to baby a first-round pick in. Your first-round pick, you should be able to start on the first day of the season, particularly at a position like corner where they should be able to say, go cover that guy.
But a lot of people thought he was a reach at 18, honestly.
Well, John Robinson didn't think he was a reach at 18, so I want to see John Robinson's guy do what John Robinson thinks he can do. I like LaShawn Sims. I think LaShawn Sims is a good answer. I think LaShawn Sims is going to play at least in the top 4, maybe in the top 3. And I was surprised. I didn't have a sense of what kind of offseason he was having. They give offseason award. Malarkey does to the guy who had the best offseason. Yeah. Big guy, middle-sized guy, little guy. I think we could have predicted that Casey would be in the running. We could have predicted that Delaney Walker was going to be in the running. I wouldn't have told you that LaShawn Sims was going to win the little guy, and he won it. So that's a great sign for him.
I like seeing that unexpected answer. And a guy like LaShawn Sims, that we would love and need to have step up to the plate and give us some quality play at cornerback position, the weakest position on the team. So, that's super encouraging.
Anyways, we've definitely improved it.
Yeah.
Next.
Logan Ryan's a huge improvement.
So-
so what? You just said the secondary, so you didn't even answer the question. But
Well, then I went to Ryan. I went from the
so
secondary to
great.
Ryan and Jackson.
Okay.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not going to be dictated to by your questions.
This is our show.
You're going to be
trying-
dictated
follow our
to by
rules.
my answers.
Yeah. See, you got your own mic over there, so I can mute you anytime I want.
That's fine. I got my car right
so
out there.
This is kind of new, and as reported by local sports journalist Paul Kuharsky.
Oh, that's convenient.
So as you reported, Amy Adams-Strunk is making some uniform changes that are
You're going to have to buy a new jersey.
that are not minor. So AKA they're probably at the bar right now getting smashed.
Not minor is important because earlier she said minor.
Yeah,
No,
that's
not earlier she said not major. Now she's saying not minor. Notice the difference.
that's a little contradiction.
Well, earlier she didn't know exactly what they were going to be, and now she knows.
Well,
Yeah,
so she
this-
went from not major to not minor. That's a big change
It is, and what
for people like you that are going
What
to
I'm-
spend your life savings on jerseys. Other
Yes.
people who don't think every day is Halloween, they could just look at the team wearing the jersey
I just want
instead of
people
wearing
to
them
know.
themselves.
this was a birthday gift from my wife.
You have a wife?
I do have a wife. Look at this. Look at this, Paul.
That's
That's a
remarkable.
wedding ring right there. I know. Can you believe it? She couldn't be here
Shocking.
today, but she is a vital part of Titans team.
What's
If you
your
ever want
last
to come
name?
back on,
What's your last name?
Mariota.
Sorry, Mrs. Mario.
but yeah, with these uniform changes, I'm going to just give my opinion. This makes me really nervous hearing her say not a minor change because looking at teams of the past, recently the Jaguars, the Browns, the Bucks, even their tweak, whatever they did, their numbers on their jerseys now look kind of strange.
Yeah, what font is that?
And even going to hockey and the Predators, when they unveiled their new jerseys, that was met with a lot of criticism too. So I don't think there's just based on the past few years of new jerseys not being popular. What I'm hoping, what she means by not a minor change, is perhaps changing the logo from the flaming
I'd
thing
bet,
to the
I'd bet
sword.
against that. Here's why. I talked to her about that the last time I talked to her about this, and it was shortly after they redid the locker room. And they have the flame tack. What do they call it?
in the locker room.
Flaming thumbtack, excuse me.
Yeah.
On the ceiling of the locker room in a very fancy manner, and she said something like, "We're not going to be changing away from that after we just spent what we spent." Now it's on the floor of the locker room.
it's all
I think
in
they're
the locker
married
still.
to that logo as the primary logo. Maybe there's some sort of minor alteration to the logo. I think one thing, this is my prediction, again, I'm giving you another prediction. I think light blue will be more prominent again. Bud like that baby blue.
So like
Tommy
this.
Smith came in and didn't like that.
Powder.
Tommy Smith came in and tried to do things that were opposite of Bud. Amy Adams-Strunk is Bud's daughter, and she likes Bud better than Tommy Smith did. I think that jersey you're seeing will be.
That's what I like.
I think
I
This is like my favorite
I would
jersey too,
flip the light blue
obviously.
and the dark blue there.
Well, we already have a jersey like that.
Well,
you're just saying that
as
would be
as
kind
part
of
of things, and be more primary, as opposed to that being the
So
primary.
you haven't
dark blue.
seen anything?
Oh no, nobody's seen.
Okay.
Nobody's going to see. She told me to go investigate Nike. I'm pretty sure they have pretty good security at Nike.
Nike.
Listen, I'm telling you that there is a not minor change. If you want to know what the not minor change is, you're going to have to wait.
Well, you'll have to pay for his website probably.
Yes.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to be
you
unveiled
think-
on my website, though it should be.
Do you
And
think-
we all know.
We'll try to
Do
unveil
you
it
think
here
it was
first.
needed? Do you think we're like due for an upgrade, so to speak? Because I think it looked fine.
Look,
I
know
like the classic.
I know you're a
vintage navy.
Yankee, but we here in the South like to keep things consistent. So we
Okay,
don't
'cause
like
the Yankees
change
change their
man.
uniform all the time. that pinstripe
I'm just
look,
saying, no,
I
you
mean,
don't like
that-
the change. I mean, no, wait. You
Yeah,
do like
this guy
change.
didn't
What am
know
I
what he's
saying?
I don't like change generally, and
No,
my
we
team
don't
is
like
the
change.
one team in sports that never changes its uniform.
See, yeah.
I don't even like when they, make the NY gold
Okay,
for
so
Police
you
Day or whatever.
You feel where we're coming from.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
I
fine.
think that the uniforms are fine as they are. Listen, I've come to have faith in Amy Adams-Strunk. I like most of what she's done. I thought Malarkey was a mistake, and that proved me wrong. She got rid of the vice president of communications. I don't think that was a good move. I think they need somebody to be the centerpiece of their message in that corporate fashion.
let's not
But
forget that she ditched Aramark, the
Yeah.
food provider, caterer for
At-
whatever you
at
call
a
it,
good
for
cost.
the Nissan, which
Look,
was a great
she's
move.
redone the building. The stadium's looking the best it's looked since it opened. I mean, virtually everything. She should have gone to that owners meeting. That was a bad play.
Ah,
that
yeah.
it's down
Well,
the street from her house.
She lost
That
a
was
few bucks
bad
for
look.
that,
But,
out of the pocket.
Otherwise, it's hard to complain with what she's done. I'm sure that John Robinson and Mike Malarkey got to react to this thing. She's very invested in them. If you're trusting them on football matters, I don't know that means you should trust them on fashion matters, but, you know, I would
Obviously.
wait and see. Yeah, it's not a jersey. Look at what it does for my eyes.
Beautiful.
I think the undershirts
You know what? The
are-
camera's, this camera that has a thing on it is set, just let me point out, a little low. See all this space above us?
Well, yeah, that's where
We
the
coulda
graphics come in.
Come a little closer. That's a little too far away. We could
Graphics.
be like up
We
here.
might could cut in.
We appreciate your
Good zoom.
criticism, and
You're
we
welcome.
will
Take
toss
on
it
that vinyl.
aside.
Yeah.